What's going on?
Not much.
Nice beard.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'll eventually shave.
Don't continue looking like a Viking.
I think people say I look more like a hobo. So
A homo? That's not nice.
no, a hobo.
Oh.
I don't know what the hammy distance is there, but
Yeah, I don't think you look like a homo. I wonder, you think the YouTube is going to change their policies now? Or are they still going to be like ultra censorship? You're not allowed to say words in a dictionary.
I don't know. I don't know where YouTube is at this situation. Obviously, Facebook can get some changes, which is good, but I don't know where Google kind of stands. What do you think?
Nah. The short answer is no. I mean, like, look, these California companies. I mean, you mentioned the counter example of Mark Zuckerberg, but a lot of these California folks, they're all like woo woo anyway. So, in order for change to really be exercised, people have to be physically removed, whether through death or through administrative procedures. And yeah, so I don't think it's going to happen.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Like, as no difference.
In order for change to take place, okay, I think people have to be physically removed from power, whether it's through death or through administrative means. And
like
so,
Doge.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
I was talking to some Jehovah's Witnesses last weekend, posted up on a street corner. And like they have beards now, right? Before that wasn't, you weren't allowed to have a beard. You had to be clean shaven.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like, how many people in leadership died such that all of a sudden you guys are now rocking beards now? Before, you would scold people for having the audacity to look like Moses and Aaron, right? But now this is acceptable. Like, who died? Because change just doesn't take place when someone wakes up. People have to die, right? In order for reform to take place. Like, oh no, occasionally, leadership just revisits Bible principles and ask questions. Is this still relevant today, or is there any scriptural background that encourages us to do what we do, or not? Blah blah blah. I'm like, nah. People died. All right, elderly people in Bethel, New York. I think it's Bethel, New York. Died, but they don't want to fess up to it. So, anyways,
in history, did everyone have beards?
Charles Taze Russell is the founder of the Jehovah's Witness organization.
Well, like prior to
Society.
Like when did people start shaving their beards? Like there had a bit of time where every man had a beard, right? And then suddenly someone decided to start shaving it off or cutting it off. Like I'd assume like they're not going to get very precise, so they would just start chopping it a little bit.
Well, I mean, it was before the 1700s because most of the American presidents, with the exception of Garfield, they all had clean shaven or they only had mustaches.
Yeah, so it had to have been an invention of what, the 1500s. Like, at what point did the razor be like cutting your beard become a thing? I don't know.
I think they did it for the women.
Well, I knew that like the Romans shaved their heads or cut their hair because it was a combat thing. So maybe it started with that. Like beards can be pulled on, and hair can be pulled on. So maybe it was purely militaristic trend.
maybe.
All the tribes,
Uh,
all the tribes of Europe had no beards or had beards.
in my
They all got
mind,
conquered.
Egyptians, is that supposed to be Egyptians? Also had shaving, but that is my imagination. I never checked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they would have, but I guess how would you know? Is that just a?
Through carvings on pyramid blocks.
But maybe they're just naturally not very hairy.
Oh no 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 no! Middle Easterners are hairy.
Well,
I'm gonna,
these are
I'm gonna
like
get banned for saying
Nubians, though,
that.
aren't they? These are Egyptians, though.
That's not considered Middle East.
Well, they're kind of Middle Eastern, but they're also like Nubian, aren't they? So they're like
They're
part of
not
the
African at all. They're more Middle Eastern than anything. They're on the African continent. You call them African. I'm curious how they're going to respond.
Well, they are part of Africa.
Yeah, continental. But you know what the white man did. They conditioned us to want to be as far as away from African culture as possible.
But Nubians are clearly African, though.
Okay,
Like,
what's the definition of Nubian? Maybe I'm confused.
so I didn't really know this, but so like Africa, Nubia is like, is Nubia actually a country?
No.
It's part of Sudan. There's the Nubian Desert in Sudan, which is on the border of Egypt. So that whole section was called Nubia.
Okay.
So their Nubians are a Nilo-Saharan speaking or Neo-Saharan speaking ethnic group, indigenous to regions which are now northern Sudan and southern Egypt. They originate from early inhabitants of the Central Nile. So I think northern Egypt's probably more Arabic or Persian or whatever you would say, and the southern part's more Nubian, I would guess. But Nubians are, I mean, I don't think that, I don't, have I ever seen a picture of a Nubian with a beard? I don't know.
Mm, maybe. Well, with a beard.
Let me look.
Princess Jasmine's father.
Oh, there's one with a beard. Nubian.
Or that was India.
Oh, that was, I don't know. I think that was more like Iraq.
What, Aladdin?
Yeah.
Oh, they're all the same thing to me.
Or Persian or whatever. They would be somewhere in the Middle East.
Arabian Nights. I don't know the rest of the song.
Nubians.
Arabian
Days.
and something and something and something
The
and something and
jock in
something.
a maze. Yeah.
I wonder how much coke they snorted to write that song.
I don't know. You know what's weird? So Aladdin had a like on Disney or on like the Disney Channel or no, it was just ABC. They had like a series, the Aladdin TV series that ran for like 3-4 years or something like that. But Disney still hasn't like released that on Disney Plus at all.
Oh, really?
Like I don't know if they're just holding it in their back pocket in case they need to bump subscriptions one day or what.
Is there Star Wars season? Is that still going, or did they finally cancel it?
Which Star Wars?
The Acolyte or whatever it's
Acolyte? I don't know. I don't know if they're renewing that or not.
called. The Star Wars has almost all female characters that are warriors.
Oh, so the TV show is only for a year? That's weird.
What, Acolyte?
No, the Disney's Aladdin TV show. There were 3 seasons, but it was like they aired. Oh, I see. There's 9 seasons in episode or 9 episodes in episode 1 or season 1, and it ended in May. And then from September to February, there's 69 episodes, and then there's 8. Wow, that's crazy for the last season. Anyways, what was your question?
Still find it weird that Will Smith played Genie.
I don't think it was. That seemed to kind of fit with the update. I mean, they could have gone with a full CGI Genie, I suppose. But you're not going to replace Robin Williams' voice, so you had to get somebody who was Will Smith didn't have the stigma that he has now. Obviously, after that slap he did, but at the time he was still, you kind of think of him as the clean rapper, television. I don't know.
Well, Genie doesn't have to be black.
Well, yeah, I don't think it was about him being black. I think it was the fact that Will Smith is had kind of a friendly
He was a P.
demeanor, and
Yeah, he was a P. He was a PG-13
yeah,
actor.
he's a kind of a PG-13 guy. Yeah, he's at least at the time, you know.
Keep my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You look at things like Men in Black, and and he's not objectionable even to to any, I guess, whites that aren't really actually racist. I mean, there's a whole I don't know. He was a good pick, I think, in the end. I mean, I don't know who else you would pick.
I'm trying to think of someone that would, in my mind, be a better pick.
Yeah, it also takes out any sort of
I would say John Belushi, but he's not alive.
yeah. But it also, if you did put someone white there, it might have been like a whitewashing type thing. Although they did have like one or two white people in the show, but they were kind of like visiting diplomats or something, which makes sense in context. But I don't know who else you would do, because Robin Williams was kind of loud and very funny, and
Yeah, I didn't know that was the voice of the cartoon.
yeah. I don't know who else you would put. In fact, you might have to get
O'Donnell.
you probably would have had to get different enough just to kind of like shed just the. I mean, you probably did. They probably did some homages to Robin Williams in there, but he was so distinct,
Roseanne.
Yeah, I do think they picked Jasmine really well, though.
I can't remember who that was. I mean, I never saw the movie.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, no. She's cute. Just like Jasmine was. No, the only thing that sucked about the Aladdin movie is they weren't very faithful. Like, they had this whole arc about Jasmine wanting to be Sultan. Like, it was very like DEI, like woke move. It was like, I should be Sultan. I'm why can't a girl be Sultan? It wasn't about just her wanting to not be confined to the wanting to see the world and stuff, which was, I think, the original Jasmine. But yeah, so they played that whole arc. It was kind of
What's your favorite Disney song?
Oh man, I don't know. What's yours? Do you have one?
Somewhere Out There.
Somewhere Out There?
Yeah.
Which one's that one from?
Somewhere out there beneath the great blue sky, someone, something, and then.
What was that from?
And even when the clock strikes 12 in a lonesome lullaby, it's something beneath the great blue sky. So you heard that song before. I mean, I don't know the words verbatim.
I don't. That
Five
one
Goes West.
Not.
That was on the
Five
soundtrack.
Goes West.
Yeah.
Was that a Disney film?
It was. I remember my father took me to the movie theater.
I remember going to see it too, Five Goes West, but I didn't realize it was a Disney film. I thought it was like a Fox film or something like that.
Was it Pixar?
Fievel Goes West is...
It's definitely Disney, because I remember going to Disney World and during their fireworks
Universal.
show. Does Disney own Universal? Those are two separate companies.
They're totally different.
Oh,
it's not a Disney.
Why did I think that when I went to Disney World for the fireworks show that they showed Fievel? I'm confusing things.
I don't because there's a mouse in it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they all look alike.
Yeah, the what was I going to say though? You know what another movie people think is, well, now it technically is Disney, but it wasn't before it was. Did you ever see the movie Anastasia or Anastasia?
Anastasia.
Yeah.
Why would I see that?
Well, have you at least seen? Are you at least aware of the movie
It's a
Anastasia?
Russian princess or a Russian is it like a Russian Cinderella story or something?
Yeah, yeah. Basically, it's she's the long lost daughter of, because there was always the rumor that when the Bolsheviks took over Russia and implemented communist rule or whatever, that when they killed what's his name, when they killed the Tsar of Russia, they when they killed the Tsar, they like the daughter escaped, this daughter Anastasia, and that she like went into hiding or something like that. And so this is a play on that. It's
I love
she did actually escape, and people were trying to find her.
I love how when white people find out the name of my son, they tell me, "Oh, you know that name is Russian." No, I did not
Yeah,
know that the name that I assigned to my legacy is Russian. Thank you for letting me know that.
maybe I'll ask you once we're offline or whatever what it is, because now I'm curious. I could have all sorts of ideas in my head,
There you go.
but oh, yeah, yeah, I could see that. Oh, Gambler's on.
I didn't know you didn't know the name.
I didn't know. No.
Uh, it's also one of my favorite wrestlers.
Mm. Andre the
Uh,
Giant. Just kidding. I'm not gonna give away what it
I'm not
was.
going to be able to spell this one. Hold up. Please don't say it out loud.
I won't. I'll hold.
Of
Never
course,
heard that one.
I'm you never heard of his
No,
special move, the Russian sickle?
no.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't see Gambler was on. He must have been responding to. In my mind, Egyptians also had shaving. That's just my imagination. I never checked Egyptians. The subplot did not add anything to the movie. Probably referring to the subplot about Jasmine wanting to be the Sultan.
Gambler, we had a substitute for your absence last Friday.
Who was that guy? Well, no, I think that was Gambler. But
No, I don't think so.
what was his name again? It was like
It was a weird. It sounded like the first letter was swapped out with like the second to last character or something.
yeah, it was
I
like
can't remember.
Fudley Darkly or something like that. It was like, yeah, I remember now.
No, you didn't get replaced. He was just a fill-in.
Yeah, now Anastasia's a Disney princess. So there you go. The Grand
So,
Duchess Anastasia.
so apparently, I think it's funny when I behave as if I'm into alternative lifestyles, and even chicks that I talk to are questioning my sexuality. But I'm not going to stop
It
because I think it's
just
funny.
shows you're comfortable.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Like I'll be in South Beach and I'll see a dude pull up, get off the motorcycle. I'm like, yo, man, I haven't seen you in a while. Yo, you look good, man. You been working out? Like, damn, man, you got some nice arms, dude. Oh, look at your shoulders, man. Yo, what have you been doing since I haven't seen you, man? You look really nice right now. Right? They'll just start getting really uncomfortable. Like,
I was starting to like, I don't, maybe this was like 10 years ago or something. I was starting to, oh yeah, starting to do some workouts and stuff like that. And I had a buddy doing it with me. And one day I was, walking with him. I was like, man, you're looking good. You're looking, whatever. And then I was like, oh, no homo. Oh yeah, I better get that out of the way.
yeah, there's people that stop talking to me as a consequence. It's whatever.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It's not. I don't care.
Yeah, well, you got to be like, I mean, I don't understand people why they do that. Like, You got to be comfortable with yourself as long as someone's not trying to like freaking touch you or something.
Yeah, if I'm not touching you,
Yeah, it's like my nephew. My nephew, we hounded him a bunch on this trip we went on with to the Boundary Waters and like a canoe trip, and we were just hounding him, and he started just bawling at one point, like what the hell, dude? It's like we're making fun of everyone. Everyone's being made fun of here.
how old is he?
He's what now? 20? Is he?
No.
Yeah. Um, but like it's like, dude, well, we were, I don't know, making fun of him and his friend, like, oh, you're gay or whatever, and he's just like, everyone does that, blah blah blah, and it's like, come on, man.
Well, maybe something's going on.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe there's some truth to it or something, but we would just
It's
be like,
also a softer generation.
yeah, I don't know, we're just like, dude, we're making fun of everyone. You know what you do is you lean into it, and you're like, oh yeah, and you just start, pretending like that, and then you make fun of them. Like his younger brother, who I'm going fishing with this weekend now, who's also on the trip, and I've taken him a couple times. Like, it's like, yeah, you just gotta lean into it, and just he took it like a champ, and he started dishing it right back, which is which is the banter that you have when you're with a bunch of dudes, is right. The whole thing is we make fun of each other. You know what it is? It's that yawn that people are thinking are leaving you over.
Yeah, I'll be having chicks. I'll be having chicks look at me sideways when I do that. I don't just do it on camera. I just do it. Period.
You do? Oh,
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh, so. Yeah, that one sounds funny, but
yeah,
that's all right.
That's my Comanche cry.
That's how you weed out all the assholes. People who can't take a joke or be funny or just realize that everyone's different.
How's your workout regimen?
What workout? Going ice fishing every weekend and drinking beer.
Non-existent.
Yeah. I mean, I take on a sport every weekend. I fish, and that involves sitting around watching a movie, drinking.
Yo, I promise you. I think I understand your family situation, which will make it more challenging. But you should just try. Just go for your motorcycle endorsement, and then get back to me.
Well, I mean, I can.
And that'll give me a reason to travel to the state of 10,000 lakes, and we go on like a 1 or 2 hour, like, I don't know, touring ride or something.
Yeah, just go up the North Shore. Although that would look a lot
reservation
like
to reservation. What's up?
You don't want to go through. Well, there's one reservation you don't really want to go through. The rest of them are
projects or something.
Well, they're just very, very sovereign nation, like. But
we'll infiltrate them.
So
we'll colonize them,
and especially if you go on their lake. So it's Red Lake in Minnesota, and Red Lake. There's part of it that a vast majority of it is purely Indian, like owned or whatever.
Native American.
But they prefer Indian, I think. Anyways, it's purely Indian owned, and like people have gone and made the mistake up there that, oh, look at this big lake. Let's go drive out on the ice for the first time because they, maybe they've never done it before, and they see that there's a road that they can go out on to do it. And then they basically swarm them and take their vehicle and all their belongings in it and say, nope, this is ours now. You went on tribal land. This is ours.
For how long?
For forever. The police, like you
can't confiscate someone's vehicle forever.
Yeah, you can. They can. There's nothing the police can do about it because they are a sovereign nation.
So there must be signage all over the place. No, there has to be.
Mm-mm.
There has to be.
No. It's the land is owned by and managed and they are.
Trump will change legal. That if it bubbles up enough.
No, they're legal.
Trump will do a executive order.
Based on the treaties, they're a
he's
sovereign
call
nation.
It the Indian Riviera, and he's going to change it.
Yeah, they
it's the Gaza Riviera.
Yeah, I don't understand the takeover Gaza. Like, I understand some of the dynamics of what he's trying to do, but I don't see the vision.
I
Like,
think I do.
what are you gonna like? Are you taking the people in Palestinian or Palestine and relocating them somewhere for a while, rebuilding it, and then sending them back, or are
No.
you completely moving them to some other place?
He wants them to go to their. He wants them to relocate to their bordering neighbor countries, and he wants to build up another Miami slash Dubai. He wants to replace it with another Miami or Dubai, so
Okay.
that in general, rich people and people wanting to serve the rich people to work will go there. That's my thought process. Um,
Well, that
but
seems to do done pretty well for Dubai.
in theory, in theory, I think that the violence there will be stifled because they've been really forcibly relocated. Hence, because of war, I mean, it is inhospitable. And I think that it was a strategic decision for Trump to say that we're not going to exercise ownership of that area, but we will provide services to make it hospitable by clearing munitions. Because the last thing, or one of the last things I think, is to have another historical event or chapter of the white man once again uh, infiltrating a colored area by force and call it what it is, colonizing it. So, what do you think?
I don't. I think that the meta game here is that actually they this whole move is meant to have all of the Arabic countries that are around Israel be like, oh hell no, you're not going to do that, and then they'll go and do it. Like, they'll do the investments because Saudi Arabia and Egypt and they don't want to. They're not. They're kind of okay now with Israel, right? They just kind of they're okay with it and whatever. And they have vast amount. Well, at least Saudi Arabia for sure, and even Dubai or whatever the Emirates.
Yeah,
They
but
have
what they don't
vast
want.
amounts of wealth, and they could develop the area.
So,
I
does
think
Saudi
it's giving
Arabia
them a vision.
does Saudi Arabia have a middle class like any developed country has?
I have no idea. I don't even think it matters.
Does Egypt have a middle class? It does matter. Does Egypt have a middle class like
I'm
any other
assuming
country
that
has?
everyone does. Yeah,
If if
it's
if
just
if if,
size.
if they don't have a strong middle class like a developed country such as, well, what used to be China, France, Russia, the States, Canada, then how would they be able to afford to induct um, 2 million people? Even if it's a million apiece between those two countries, between Israel and what's another one? It's not Turkey. I don't know what the neighboring country would be, but outside of Egypt, besides Egypt, and I don't know who else borders that area.
Isn't it with Iraq, Jordan, something like that? I don't know my Middle East, uh, whatever, as much as I should.
Yeah, it might be Jordan. But how can they afford to take in those people that, I mean, I've never been over there and I don't really have
Yeah, it
any
is Jordan.
friends, but what percentage of them can actually contribute to those government systems, to those neighboring government systems in regards to STEM, right? Probably not that many.
Well, yeah, but I think the idea is that is that the Middle East is a region, right? And they're invested in what happens within Israel. And what should happen is that the Arabic states come together and say, why are you doing this? Let's just make the Gaza Strip really, really nice, and and then we'll and just stop doing this shit. You're not going to
But
get it
where
back.
but where are the people going to go, and who's going to take that hit? These people are going to they're going to compete for resources in whatever country they go to. We can't ignore that. How much of a disruption is that going to cause for the locals
They'll go
in
to
those
Europe.
individual countries?
They'll end
Europe
up in Europe.
Europe is a follower of the United States. They're seeing
No. Well, some of them are. Yeah.
everybody's
Send them all
the trend is
to.
going ultra conservative. The trend is being let our country be pro-European, let Japan be pro-Japan. We don't want immigrants. We want to preserve the culture of our country. That's where everything is going right now, and I don't blame them.
So what I think the play is that he's going to move all of them to Denmark, and then we're going to say, okay, we'll send them back and develop on our dime if you give us Greenland.
Yeah, how are we going to? Okay,
I don't
yeah,
know. There's like 3D chess going on here. I don't know what the play is, but it's certainly there's certainly a play behind it. So
I have done nothing outside of work related to technology. I haven't done any reading on my Kindle. I haven't wrote any code in like almost 4 weeks now. Dude, I had to fill out my because I'm a full time employee now, right?
mhm.
Oh God. So I had to fill out my self evaluation form. I used it as an opportunity to roast my employer, which
Oh.
so I'm probably gonna be let go soon. I have this habit of doing that.
No, I had to fill out my evaluation too, but I was in the middle of and this was in December. I was in the middle of a big project, and I'm like, I just don't have time to sit down and spend. So I wrote like
Yeah,
a
they want you to
very.
do it outside of work.
Oh no, they can't ask you. I don't think they can ask you to do it outside of work. They can ask you. Well, they can just say it's part of your job and don't let it interfere with your other stuff. But because you're not paid by your time, so I don't think you are. Anyways, you're not billing hours, right? Or you're not hourly. If you're hourly, there is no such thing
They
as
want you to log your time, and they want you
during
to log
work.
your time against a work item.
Well, that's to track projects. That's a different thing. It's not about your
They
time.
explicitly told me to do it before or after work.
Normal working
Not
hours.
not on not on not on not in business hours or
Yeah,
during
that's
business
not
hours.
that's the same thing as being like we have a big deploy tonight. You have to come in, or you need to work the weekend to get this done. Like it's
They've done that.
yeah, it's that's because you're salaried. That's okay. That's part of being salaried is that you've got services that you have to deliver, and sometimes they need you to deliver them. At different times. So
No. This is work for the employer that they mandated needs to be done by a certain date.
yeah,
So why not do it during the employer's time? I don't help me understand that
there's
logic.
no such thing as the employee. Like you're not paid for your time, though, is the thing.
Well,
So
I've
there
been
is
working
no
as a
such thing
contractor
as
for the last 10 years, so that's
there's
my
no such
disconnect.
thing as yeah. Well, that's different. Yeah, when you're a contractor, you are paid for your time. When you're an hourly employee, you're paid for your time. When you're a salary employee, you're not paid for your time. You're paid the same regardless of if you work the entire time or if you work 10 minutes. It's the
Let me
same.
just start taking more of my unlimited vacation then.
Yeah, it's about the explanation I was given a long time ago was that salary people are paid for their services, not for their time, and so that's what it is you're paid for your services. There's
All right,
no
great.
constraints on time.
All right, fine. Then that means that in theory, I don't have to be available from 9 to 5 o'clock. I can work
Yeah,
nights.
yeah.
Right?
But there's usually like other policies that govern that aren't related to like part of the condition of your delivering these services is that you're available during these times.
So, all right, let's change it a little bit. So here's my struggle. You fill out the self evaluation form, in which they say that you consistently demonstrate the following uh, principles that coincide with our company's, I don't know, excellence model, blah blah blah. Like you, and they'll pretty much say something that really only someone that has authority within an organization, some executive, can actually do. Else, if you don't have the authority to do it, then you're doing nothing but rocking the boat because you don't have authority and you're becoming a difficult person to work with if you what's the word I'm looking for. Um, it starts with an I. Um, no, I. So someone opens the door. If you insist, right?
Mhm.
And so that's kind of the challenge or issue that I have with these self evaluation forums is how do you how do you exceed expectations if you don't have the authority to exceed them in the first place? How do you quote unquote, like some of the questions are, you know, uh, provides architectural design and direction in driving a project from start to finish. Well, if you're not an architect at that organization and you're just a senior developer, and they do have architects, h- how do you demonstrate that
Yeah,
without creating issues with your architect?
I know that's the same. I had the same problem with the last place I was at. Some of the things was like to become this level of engineer, there were certain things you needed to do, but it was also like proficiency in this, in these types of things, like Kafka, for instance. And it was like, well, yeah, but if you're never put on a project that has Kafka in it, how are you supposed to do that? Like, how are you supposed to advance your technical skills? So we had all uh, like we'd have our one-on-ones with our managers and they would be like, all right, you need to fill in these like goals and stuff like that, and you need to, like, what are you trying to improve on and what technologies are like. I'm just like, I don't know how to do this because there isn't something I want to just sit down and like, I'm going to go off and explore. I'm like, I'm not going to grok this and actually be able to demonstrate unless you give me a project. Like, I want to like have a project that uses these things, like even if it's a pet project or something like that, or like whatever. That's what you need to give me, because I'm not going to just come to work and go off and spend my time just training on something. Like, I mean, like I want to get work done.
Yeah, so I'm not alone.
So yeah, yeah. I think that whole thing is just honestly it's lip service to like, we care about your advancement and stuff. Like like I don't know. Like I don't really need all this. I'm content where I'm at. Let's just in terms of like advancement stuff, I don't see myself becoming a manager or getting on that track. I don't know that I want to do the like, because generally once you get into like the higher engineering stuff, a lot of it is documenting stuff and giving it to other people. And I don't want to do that. Like I want to be given problems and just go work them. Like I don't, it's fine. You don't spend any resources trying to think about my career advancement because
You
it's
don't want to be
probably
a
not going to happen.
you don't want to be a technical fellow.
Like I told my manager, because I had my review this week. I'm like, I hit the wall in what I could do with my career 12 years ago. Like first time I got senior engineer title, like that was it. That was as far as I'm going to go. Probably, maybe someday I could get to a principal level, maybe, but that would just be like a gratuitous title, like senior was the first time. It's like
And anytime, yeah, I'm gonna get fired from this job. So anytime,
maybe
any
if someone's watching,
yeah,
maybe.
well, yeah, my last job was, or 2 jobs ago, it was crazy. That he would literally surf social media to like just spy on me and then report to leadership. It was so. I'm not going to use the T word because I hate that word.
T word.
Toxic. I
Oh,
hate the word toxic, gaslighting, What's something else that's used almost every day? It's toxic, gaslighting, trauma. I hate those three
Trauma.
words.
Yeah.
I hate those three words. I hear those words at least a dozen times every day.
Yeah.
I hate
They're
those words. I
yeah.
don't know who made those words like the three words out of the entire human vocabulary or English language, but I hear those words all the time. I hate it. I hate talking to people that use those words. I hate it.
I got trauma from my toxic workplace. They were gaslighting me.
Trauma, gaslighting, and I forgot the last word already. Toxic.
Toxic. Toxic was a good one growing up because Britney Spears sung it. She was good looking in that video.
Oh, she made that term popular.
No, not in the way that's used now, like toxic. But don't you remember there was this song called "Toxic"?
No, I don't listen to Britney
Britney
Spears.
Spears. And the taste of the lips, ba ba ba, the toxic dancing in. You know, like
Sounds familiar.
I'm addicted to you because you know that I'm toxic.
I wonder who wrote the songs for her.
I don't know. Probably someone who's also singing now.
Gambler says, I rarely hear them. I guess my non technical social life isn't in English. All right, good. I hate those words. The thing is I probably consume about 6 hours of YouTube a day. I swear to God. And it's not like I watch the videos, I just listen to it while it's in my pocket.
What
Right?
about like when people say?
Half of it's motorcycle stuff, motorcycle content.
How about if they diagnose themselves with diseases that they've never been diagnosed with, like
Oh, you mean
my
ADHD?
ADHD, my
Yeah.
ADD, my what is it? OCD. Yeah, I think I'm mildly on the spectrum. Like,
Yeah. When is that popular to brag about your handicaps?
I don't even know that they're handicaps. I think they're just different ways of being. Like autism's one thing, but
ADHD is a handicap.
why?
And
It's a handicap in the way that they've
you
structured
can't
society.
focus.
Yeah, and the way that they've structured society, or you can hyperfocus. It's
That's not a
it's
problem.
it is that's a superpower too.
It's
But
not a
it
problem.
yeah, it's not. The thing is that it's not really a problem. I don't know that it's only a problem in the way that if
Look,
there's expectations put on you to behave like everyone else.
look. So I was raised in a cult, so I would have to go to some form of a service, as we call it, or as you people call it, like 3 times a week. And so, yeah, I had a hard time sitting down and not falling asleep while they would read the Bible
Well, yeah, but that's
or
not a
other
problem with
publications.
you. That's a problem with
Well, in
expectations
today's
put on
society, that
you.
would be called ADHD because I have no interest in reading some 3,500-year-old document.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because
So,
it's
so do I require
expectations.
Adderall
That's expectations put on you to sit there and
as a
be
child?
whatever. Yeah, as a child. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because the world is very more well, at least when for children anyways, the world is much more geared towards girls who aren't as
The
like
world
don't
is
get pent
ruled
up.
by women, and that's why we have the problems that we have today. I said it.
Well, schools are for sure.
We're raised by women. The school system is predominantly women, and that's why men are soft as hell now.
Yeah, although women have always been raising the kids, but the kids were always just running around doing their own
Well,
shit.
they've been raising the kids, but they've been structured by
Kids raise
fathers.
themselves, yeah.
All right. In the NBA is a prime example of fatherless athletes. They get caressed on their shoulder. They fall on the floor, and they will not get up until another player picks them up off the floor.
Yeah, soccer does that too.
When I was like 7 or 8, I was playing basketball across the street from home, and I fell down, skidded my knee, and I just lay there crying because it hurt so bad. And my father was like, "Scotty, come back home," right? And so I'm busy sobbing, limping, and I come back home, and he's like, "Sit here on the porch." Then my mother came and she got some like alcohol and maybe peroxide and a band-aid. She made it better and she kissed it. My father saw that and he beat me. That raises a hard kid. That turns a boy into a man. Not that I condone like beating somebody that's like obviously in agony, but we live in a soft society now, man, where like we literally are conditioned Men are conditioned by women, and we wonder why we have the issues that we have. That's why Trump is making our country great again.
Yeah,
So
well, it's the I
let's
always
pivot.
I always tell people though, it's like it's when you go through adversity, like you don't know how much that does to make you a better person. Like, and that stuff's all adversity. Like the problem there is something to be said about that whole, soft men make
Yeah.
hard times make, hard men make good times make soft. Like that cycle definitely is a thing, because going through adversity is how you advance yourself and become resilient and all of that kind of stuff. And it just, when you don't have it, you don't have a war to go through, when you don't have um, you know a world where you're just out in the nature with other kids, like and everything is like set up for you, your schedule is set, you can't handle when there's new things thrown at you.
So let's pivot. I sincerely believe that Trump is obsessed with going down in history
Oh yeah,
as the best president, at least of the United States of all time. He is doing what world leaders were doing in World War II when it comes to making executive decisions, executive orders on such a what's the word I'm looking for? Um, just short
scale.
frequency. Yeah.
Yeah.
And within 3 weeks, he is reforming the hell out of American society. Well, maybe not society, but governance. I know I'm not allowed to say Hitler, but man, like he is making moves as if he is preparing for something greater, right? And I don't say that in a bad way.
Yeah, no, he worries about his. I think he wants
Legacy.
to have a legacy. Yeah, and he wants his legacy to be something different than his first term was.
He's doing. I think he's setting the standard.
Yeah, well, that's why he's looking at things like, I think why he's looking at things like Greenland, which is Greenland is a
Everybody thought he was joking.
no, that's actually, there's a lot of minerals there, and it's a strategic thing. Like there's a lot of military bases that could be or are there. It's like there's a reason to have Greenland, in terms of national like security and stuff like that, and strategic control or
What
whatever.
does that mean, national security?
Well, so it's control over the Arctic, right? So we
All
have
right,
we have
so we can
Alaska.
have Russia do it. Would that still be national security?
Well, it's a lot about Russia, I think, because you want to get an early detection and for missiles and stuff like that. I think all of this stuff is going to come over the Arctic, if it was going to come over. Because he's also done the was going to do the Iron Dome thing for it, and I think that's all plays into that. But I think too, it's about the minerals and stuff that they have in Greenland, because like China's buying up all the rest of the world's mineral rights, and so we need more to compete. But also, what was I going to say now? Well, anyways, yeah.
Yep, part missile detection, radar stuff, in on Greenland, as far as I know.
Yeah, but if you're a Democrat, they probably would think that he wants to add a star to the flag because he owns flag companies or something like that. They're so dumb. This USA aid thing is just stupid too. Wow, like that thing is totally corrupt.
Him reforming it, or
No, in that it, like what it was, like 10,000 people. They're funneling money all over the place. It's just insane.
Biden has to be embarrassed with what Trump has been getting done.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
He's probably
I'm optimistic.
Sleepy Joe.
He signed with the agency that the Obamas did, the entertainment industry agency. I don't know if he's gonna go try to produce movies now or what.
Who, Biden?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, the thing.
Trump is embarrassing the last administration.
Yeah, I don't know why. I wonder where gamblers not being optimistic is.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm really optimistic about where
I mean,
things are going.
obviously he's going to do some things that I don't agree with, but the majority of things I do or it does resonate with me.
Yeah. I want to see what the balance sheet is after this next year or 2 years with the deficits too. I think if it's like finally the arrow starts to go that way, which I think is part of the entire idea
Uh,
behind Doge, it'll
I
be
don't,
a
I
huge
don't think
win.
I don't think that arrow is going to. Well,
Has to. I mean, that's the whole thing. If we go up, if the
it
deficit
does.
goes
It does
up,
not have to. And hear me out. And the reason is because you have to invest in just reverting that in the first place, right? So there's fixed costs just to get resources, just to perform an investigation, and then to put whatever mechanisms or systems in place to alter it. Like that's upfront costs. So you may have investments that may go for another year just so that the deficit can go in the opposite direction 2 years from now. That's my argument.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think the idea is that Doge uncovers a bunch of money that gets re-diverted to other things. Um, that is for that investment, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it's gonna turn out good.
What is he going to do about the welfare system?
You mean what? Social Security and
I
Medicaid?
wish the president can pass an executive order for child support and
Oh,
reform it.
yeah. I don't think that. I think that's more of a states thing. Um, the
No,
the
it's national security.
yeah. I actually wish that what they would do with Social Security, Newt Gingrich had the best idea ever, which is based on this model that Chile uses for Social Security, which is that
Afra.
is that
Is
that
that what they
money.
said? Afra.
Well, yeah, no, that was the other guy, but that
Argentina.
was it Argentina? Yeah, I want to say it's
Afra.
Argentina. I get him and the guy from Ecuador messed up, but yeah, fuego. Yeah, yeah. But the idea was is that instead of putting money into Social Security, is that you would be required to you take the same payroll taxes, and instead you can invest them into a private fund. And if that private fund is less than what the cost, so if the market crashes or whatever, is less than what you would get had it sat in Social Security, then the government makes a difference. It doesn't actually do the rest. So Social Security becomes kind of like this guarantee of, like the government side of Social Security becomes more of this guarantee of that you're going to be taken care of if your lifetime earnings doesn't do it for you, kind of a deal. Because there's like, dude, if you took the money that we've been putting in payroll taxes our entire lives and threw that into the market, we'd all be like, half of us would be millionaires for sure. So I think that makes a lot of sense to me. Like, it's, hey, yeah, the market can get fucked up, and sure, you might have less, but we'll cover that so that you're guaranteed some level of whatever, like you would under a Social Security system, except you can get all the upsides of going into the market and potentially landing a lot more money in retirement than what we could provide you, which is probably what happened. Plus, then your money is going into investments rather than some quote unquote lockbox that the government raids. It's actually going back to invest in America or in whatever. So that money is actually being used actively and value comes out of it. So,
What do you think is going to happen with the Canadian situation?
but it's already happened. What do you mean?
No, it's been delayed 30 days.
Well, yeah, that's because he got the first concession he wanted, which is to, because the whole focus, a lot of this focus around border right now, and Canada's quickly become the preferred avenue for people on the terrorist watch list and stuff to get into the country because they take advantage of like the policies of Canada or whatever.
When do you
So
when do you think discussions when do you think American discussions about Canada being inducted into the United States is going to
I
dissipate?
don't that won't. That's just a positioning thing. There's no chance of that happening.
When do you think it's going to dissipate? 6 months from now?
When we don't need when we're not worried about Canada anymore, the border's secured and whatever. But it's funny though. Like there's a lot of tariffs on U.S. goods from Canada, and some of that got removed in Trump's first term. But like milk and dairy, that like there's barely any sales of that stuff from the U.S. into Canada, despite our ability to produce all that stuff.
Their gallons of milk are in the form of bags.
What in Canada they have
Yes.
bags of milk? No way.
I mean, no way. I'm telling you, it's in bags.
Oh yeah, bagged milk in Canada. What the fudge?
It's weird.
That's kind of like, wouldn't it just and it's just using like a bread tie to keep it closed or what?
I mean, it's a sealed bag.
Why would they use that instead of a jug? Like it's all plastic. Does it just use considerably less plastic or what?
I don't know. Those Canadians, they're tree huggers.
Why do Canadians have milk in bags? Oh, so not all of the milk is. Some of it's in cartons.
No, I've only seen them in bags.
Well, like the box cartons, not the
tree huggers.
Glass.
Tree hugging Canadians. Tree huggers.
The pillow pouch, the Canadian market to glass bottles. They tested them in Montreal and they gained some edge in it. How do the bag is sold in loose pouches, raining, blah, blah, blah.
You put it in a pitcher and then you pour it. Huh. So you put it in the pitcher, you put the lid on the pitcher, and then you pour it.
So it uses 75% less plastic than the average jug. Lighter, requiring less energy to ship. They're more affordable. They're not as easy to recycle, though. So there's a lot of plastic waste.
I mean, how many people recycle the plastic jugs here in the States?
Well, we throw all of our milk jugs into the recycling bin, but I don't think it gets recycled. That's one of the... Do you want me to use a term you hate?
Toxic?
No.
How's that trauma or gaslighting?
Gaslighting, yeah. No, like the entire thing about recycling plastics, barely any plastics you put in a recycling bin are actually recycled.
They outsource it. I thought to
way too expensive. It's way too expensive. Like they don't do it. They just basically throw it all out.
I thought they outsource it.
It's just to like make people feel good kind of thing. There's really no.
The documentary I watched, they outsource it, and our garbage ends up in Malaysia.
Well, people buy it, yeah.
And then ends up in one of the dead rivers in Malaysia.
Well, they buy the trash and then they recycle it. I always said
it doesn't get, the vast majority of it doesn't get recycled. They ship it to another country and it goes in a dead river or whatever, and that's it. Or it gets burned.
Yeah, well, which means it's
and
also...
the United States wipes their hands clean and says, yes, we're green, but it's not green. They just were complicit.
Well, yeah, but not all of it goes there. The thing is, a lot of it just gets thrown out. But what it does is means that when we recycle plastics, when we recycle them, what's happening then is they go on boats, they fall into the ocean, they get there, then they fall into the river, like you said. Like it's stupid. Like just throw it away. I've never felt bad about throwing something that could be recycled into the garbage can for that reason. It's like, even if
batteries,
they did full recycling on it, eventually the stuff will get recycled. Eventually, junkyards will be mined for the shit that's in them.
It says trash bags,
minerals,
trash and plastic gets burned here as well for power generation and stuff.
Yeah. Eventually that stuff is going to get, we have like landfills, right? Eventually landfills are going to get mined for their stuff. Like a lot of it's going to decompose and people are just going to go out there. They're going to find some technology. Is going to pull all that shit back out and use it for something else.
You
What's going to
know,
happen?
you know what separates Earth from a lot of other planets that we know of that
People,
we never considered?
water, oxygen, atmosphere.
You're close. You're close.
The
What's the
internet.
opposite? What's the opposite of water?
What's the opposite of water?
Yeah.
There's no opposite of water.
What's the opposite of water?
There's no opposite of water.
When you take the inverse of H2O, what's the opposite of it?
O2H?
No, fire.
That's not the opposite. You could, I mean, there's
So
probably, well, you could probably with the right minerals set the freaking water on fire.
I watched a documentary, and they were making an argument that fire really is unique, and it's very unique to planet Earth, and it's really a phenomenon on this planet that requires specific ingredients that only Earth's atmosphere appears to condone. I mean, I'm sure there's like a
Well,
trillion
within
other
our,
planets.
yeah, I would say there's probably trillions of other planets, and it's probably not all just oxygen fires too. It's probably other, and carbon or whatever it is. It's probably
Well,
a
fire requires
mixture.
oxygen. Period.
All you need is two elements that, when put together, with some sort of energy, causes a violent reaction, and you have fire.
Fire requires oxygen.
Yeah, because that's an element to it, but not all fire. I would assume that there's other elements that you could put together to produce similar effects.
You think they're going to be starting fires when they colonize Mars?
I don't know what they're going to do with Mars. I just hope we go there in the next 3 years or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's not going to happen.
What it's supposed to. That's the entire thing.
You know what the challenges are, right?
What? That's what Elon Musk has been working on this whole time.
Elon Musk is not a doctor. There's physiology challenges to traveling to another planet. That's what.
Well, yeah, you got to be in a
60 million miles
spaceship
away.
for like 2 years or whatever, or a year or whatever it is.
6 months, but
6
yeah,
months. That's not that long.
When they're closest to each other.
Yeah, but
do you know what happens to the body when there's no gravity acting on it?
Yeah, it gets all messed up. But
exactly, they have to solve that.
Yeah, but they'll solve it.
Okay, it's not as easy as putting on a weight vest.
We've had like, how long did that guy from Arizona or whatever spend up there?
They're still up there. That lady and that guy astronaut, they're still up there.
Yeah, a guy spent over a year on the Mir space station.
And he was effed up.
437 days. Russian guy. Well, that's because he's Russian and really strong.
Are they going to share the medical reports of him?
Oh, I'm sure when he came down, he was all messed up.
Yeah.
But if that's a problem, they'll solve it. If that's a problem, they'll solve it. They'll put artificial stress on the body. They'll find a way to do it.
And that requires technology, which requires discovery, which requires research, which requires safety. It's not that easy.
Kamler's been talking a bunch. I missed it all.
Well, the O2 had to be produced first by the cyanobacteria, etc. And first it had to oxidize all the rocks and stuff so that O2 actually sticked around. I'm not sure if he's on my side or your side.
Yeah. Oh, for the fire.
Yeah.
We just need to send a bunch of bacteria there. Just send large globs of life, and then it'll just work itself out.
Just send a whole bunch of rodents there.
And all the what are those little guys?
Rodents and cockroaches there.
What are those little guys called? The little
dwarfs.
Bears. They're called like something bears. Oh god, they're like
water.
They can survive in the
water bearer.
They can survive in like
water bearer.
No,
it is.
No.
Look at how much you want to bet.
Water bearer.
Water bear. Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Oh, water bears, not bearer, but water
Same
bear.
Thing.
A tardigrade. Yeah, those things can survive in anything. They just
water bears
lose all their water and then they last for forever. Tardigrades.
Is water bear a synonym?
Water bear is, not bearer.
Oh no, I was thinking about bearer token.
Yeah. Yeah, where's your authorization header, man? What the hell?
I'm done complaining about
Water bearer tokens.
my name is. No, you should take a motorcycle endorsement classes, John. uh, that's funny. You
I
should
can get
take.
my permit easy enough because you don't even. I think it's just a written test.
Yeah, you should, I mean, it costs money. I think I paid.
It's probably like $50 or something for
No,
the
no, no, no,
permit.
no. I think I paid $350 for my motorcycle endorsement. If you get a if you actually decide to buy a motorcycle, you could probably talk the dealership into paying or to try to get to pay for it for you.
If
But I
you're
mean,
18, blah, blah, blah. Let's
I
see.
mean, it's cool to learn a new skill. That's all.
The riding skills test will be waived if you complete the Safety Center basic rider course. Oh. Go to D. You must have a license. It's like $35 to get one. It's not.
No,
I don't know.
it's way expensive here. I pay like $350.
That's probably because they want to price poor people out of it.
Well, it's a 2 day course, and is at least each day is supposed to be
Oh, never mind.
like
The basic
four.
rider course is $259.
Okay, yeah, each day is supposed to be like 4 or 5 hours of training. But when I did it, it was literally like 2 hours each day, and then we took our test.
Okay, hold on. There are two ways to earn your motorcycle endorsement. One, use the skills test waiver / third-party testing options. Or two, go to the DVS exam station. You must have a valid license, pass the state knowledge test for it, pass the riding state skills test, and then pay the duplicate license fee and receive your endorsement.
So I think in European countries, Sean, I think they just can't walk to a dealership and buy a 1,000 cc motorcycle. I think they actually, my understanding, and I'm okay with being wrong, is they have to go with the low powered vehicle, a mid powered or low powered motorcycle, mid powered motorcycle, and then a high powered motorcycle. But they have to do it like within a frequency of time or a period of time. I don't know if it's 6 months. I don't know if it's 2 years, but they just can't go in like we do here in America, and just buy a 1,000 cc BMW Ducati and then kill ourselves, on the way home trying to ride it.
You have to work your way up to a high-powered motorbike.
Yeah,
Screw that. I can kill myself if I want to.
yeah. In America, you can literally just. I don't even think you even need a motorcycle license. You just buy the bike.
You can buy the bike, and then you need. So I think
They have a limiter on it if it's a new bike, right? So you can't take it above like maybe 8,000 revs.
in Minnesota you need your like all you need is your permit to drive it, but you can't drive it at night. And then, or like you need a so you can get just your like provisional permit, which allows you to drive it during the day. And there's other rules about it. I can't remember what they are, but to be able to drive at night or whatever, then you need your full license. I would suppose that you. I wonder why you wouldn't need that for a. People rent those.
50 cc scooters.
No. Well, I think even for scooters, no, not for. No, for under 50 cc, you don't need anything.
Yeah.
But the are they called razors? The Polaris razors. They're like cars. Slingshots. But they're classified as a motorcycle, so I don't know why you wouldn't need.
Yeah, Canada is stupid. Canada, they require you to wear a helmet. So you have a safety belt or a seat belt, and you have to wear a helmet. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Canadians are tree huggers. They're stupid.
Well, just the ones in Toronto, maybe. The rest of Canada is great.
Well, their management,
there in Victoria.
their governance is questionable.
It's funny though that like I live north of most Canadians. Did you know that?
Hold up, dude. No, f that. Hold up. I gotta show you something.
Isn't that weird though? I live north of most Canadians.
No, you live
The
north.
majority of Canadians live more south than I do.
I have to look at your geography. Why is this thing still pointing at tech conception? Hold up. I gotta show you something because I'm confused.
Because yeah, if you look at it, I live in central Minnesota. If you draw the line over it, you basically put Toronto and Montreal south of me, and like, was it like 70? I don't know what the actual percentage is, but like the majority of Canadians live within that region of Toronto.
I gotta show you something. I don't understand this, and I don't understand how someone discovered this either. All right, look. Hold up.
I wouldn't.
And they're in Jeeps.
Yeah, I'd be freaked out. That guy just come up and grab you.
Like, I mean, they're probably in India somewhere. Hence, a tiger.
Or maybe they got guns on them.
No, a tiger doesn't know what a gun is, right?
Yeah, but he will when he gets shot by one.
He will after, but the other tigers won't.
Oh boy.
And then in Africa, the same thing. They can travel in open vehicles, open, and like they don't get dragged out of it.
People get snatched out of those. No, they
I
get
don't think they
snatched out.
do.
They do.
Show me a
You
video.
look them up. Didn't you see that one where the woman was going through the tiger thing and she stepped out to yell at her husband and got
She
pulled
stepped
away?
out of it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know.
That's like,
Anyways, I gotta run here. I gotta hit the bathroom. So
all right, we'll catch up.
probably gonna catch you next week. All right.
All right, see
See ya. Bye.
All right, gambler. It's been real.